Alright, today's video is not going to have any tools in it that I know of at this point. I'm going to just move the equipment out of the way and start to throw stuff away and sort of uncover some of the stuff that's in the back. There's a lot of interesting things, and I will stop periodically when I come across interesting stuff and sort of go through it, but this might just be a boring dump video, so. Alright, so this is the third load. I've got a lot of particle board and stuff that... It's some cabinets that look like they were nice, but they're MDF, so the parts of them are firm, but the edges and the seams and stuff are all shot out. Just garbage, but the actual place is starting to look pretty good. And you know, it's very, very relatively... I mean, well, let me qualify that. What I was hoping is that as I sort of pick up the crap, the junk, the obvious dander that needs to go to the landfill, I would find cool things. And I am finding that. Look at this bucket of hammers. That's a 5 or 3 gallon bucket. There's probably got to be 25 hammers in there. So a lot of people commented the other day that what I had in my hand in my drawer was a saw set. This is one of many buckets of saws. Look at that. I don't know if that's a real saw or if that's a sign. And all back there are all tools and jacks and fire extinguishers and lots of weird stuff. But I'm just just getting the easy, low-hanging fruit, as it were, off the ground, and I'm going to leave the stuff that may be of value. The vacuum cleaner stuff, you know, I'm sure there's somebody that watches that loves vacuum cleaner stuff, but, you know, there's just too assorted and too ate up to do anything with, so that's all in the landfill now. But this is, you know, effectively, you know, one of the first days that I've actually had a full day to work out here, and I'm hopeful that with time I'll make some progress. And, you know, people have had some helpful analogies, and I think, you know, the one that resonates the most with me is, you know, how to eat an elephant. And as I've tried to sell things, as I've tried to go to the auction, and as I've sort of seen what the value is of some things at the flea market, and when I say value, I mean, you know, the how do I convert some of the stuff into dollar bills? The emotional connection to this stuff is, you know, relatively, you know, minimal. There's not anything here that says, oh, you know, this was grandpa's or this was mom's or something like that. But so it makes it easier to get through the stuff, especially with the, you know, rotten wood and things like that, stuff that, you know, is just, you know, past its, you know, any hope. So there is a lot of nice stuff here beyond the tools. There's, you know, lots and lots and lots and lots of pressure treated wood. So that's great. There's, you know, also another stack over here, and then there's a comparable amount in the front blocking one of the bays, and I'll get a chance to go through that eventually. But, you know, if I keep making hay through here, that will be good. I know I will slow down when I get to the paint section up there. I'll have to go down and talk to the people and figure out how to get rid of the paint. But so that's where I'm at now. So I'm going to go back to the dump, and then, you know, we'll keep working and see what it's getting hot though, so I don't know how much longer I'll keep working. But alright, it's a little too hot to be working in the shop now. I mean, I could keep working, but, you know, it's not all going to get done in a day, obviously. So I'm going to relax on the mower. This is a John Deere 757. It's a nice machine. We actually got it from an auction. The 25 horsepower, I believe this is that Briggs Vanguard. But a good machine. Got to put some air in the tire. And I don't know, I assume that the width on the deck is, so it's a 60-inch deck on there. So anyway, it does a good job of knocking the yard out really quickly. So I'm going to do that, maybe try to get a little footage. So I'm tempted to use the big trailer to take the John Deere home. Hopefully, if the video came out, you would be able to see, actually we might be able to see here, that those are some of the dullest blades on the face of this planet. So, and it sounds like it might have a spindle going bad, so I'm gonna order some. It probably needs a spindle, so I'll order some blades and see what the spindles cost. I got my camera stuck up there. The Sato, the clutch is sticking on it, and I don't know whether it's because I'm using it more than it's usually used, or I'm using it less than it's usually used. Whatever the case, the clutch is sticking, and I really have to mash down on it. So I looked through the book briefly, and there's a clutch adjustment there, but it's another thing for another day. And I've got some sort of a leak here, so that's gonna have to be dealt with at some point. But the machine, I just keep checking the fluids on it. Really happy with it so far, other than the, you know, for 1971. Can't ask for too much more. So I'm gonna try to control my losses, or to rein in the number of projects I get going, and just start with these. So I've got this bucket of hammers that I'm taking with me, and this was another pet project. I've had a couple cases where I've got burned at the flea market, and a couple cases where I've really done well. And pressure washers have typically worked pretty well for me, but in this case I got burned. The pump was bad. It had a cat pump on it, and it was just too far gone. So I bought another pump, and it is yet to be sort of tuned in yet. So that'll be a project, and this is a 13 horsepower Honda, so it's definitely worth investing a little time in. Again, Hondas are my favorite buggers ever. So let me get these machines put away, and then move on to the next project. Alright, so that's 40 hammers in that bucket. There's some novelties. There's a couple garbage ones in here, but there's some real neat. Look at this tiny ball peen hammer. It's really hard to make out what's on these, and I don't want to bore you with all that. But eventually I'll go through and clean these up. Look at this little soft blow hammer. Go check out Scout Crafter's Fix It Friday, last Fix It Friday. He builds one of the prettiest hammers I've ever seen. Just an outstanding job. Here's a lead hammer. This is a great tool to have. I have, I think, what is a beryllium hammer, which is a non-sparking hammer. But rawhide hammers and lead hammers and things, they can be indispensable in the shop. I've got a couple body hammers, some soft blow hammers. This, I don't know if that's a rawhide or what that is. A couple, and you know, the little tiny hammers, my favorite. This is a homemade, obviously, or apparently, I should say. That's a neat little pry bar / hammer. Some little sledge, the drilling hammers. These, I don't know if that's a cobblers or hoof nail or whatever. I don't know my hammers very well, but some interesting ones. It's got like a loop handle. Here, I don't know if this is something that a machinist made, or this is a homemade. It looks like it could be, but just some really neat hammers in here. And I think that, you know, some of them may or may not be worth anything, but you know, you won't know. It's part of the fun thing about restoring tools is you don't necessarily know what you have until you do a little bit of cleanup and do some research on it, because there might be a 1 in 100 kind of, or 1 in a million kind of hammer in here that nobody's ever heard of before, and that's part of the fun. So that's going to conclude today's episode. I know it was sort of a hodgepodge, if you will, but you know, such is life, especially at this point. So I will continue to try to make some progress and get back to the tool restorations, the interesting stuff. But I also know that a couple of you, at least 1 or 2 of you out there, like to see the sort of in-between moments when I'm running to the dump, cleaning the shop up, and sort of discovering things along the way. So, and I enjoy sharing it. I really do. So, and as always, you know, if you have comments or questions or concerns or anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I thank you, and I hope you have a good weekend.